actually make and safety margin for all these arrangements, and it shows that this safety margin is appropriately set. But the second thing is, we know very well that people are planning their trips so as to ensure that they will be arranging it for the Lunar New Year celebration. And after this, I'm sure that things will get to the normal condition, and the activities, as I have described, will then come in. The third thing is a lot of visitors from the mainland needs to have the right endorsement for them to come. And the process of endorsements has just started. As the process of endorsements get into speed and in volume, and then there will be a lot of people coming down. And the other point I would like to make is we are not looking at just 1 or 2 single days. We are obviously looking at the reopening of the boundary crossing in the long run. And obviously this has been the desire and the wants of a lot of people, not just to satisfy family reunion, but to ensure that the normal business, the normal activities can go about. As I have explained in my beginning, this normal travel between the two places will not just ensure that the activities between the two places can resume, it also means that our international connectivity will increase as well, as overseas visitors can also come into Hong Kong to make their way into the mainland and vice versa. So a lot of good news will happen. And in fact, the government is planning to do a big promotion exercise starting in February, because I think the particular tourism will start to come back in February. So it is Hong Kong government's plan to launch a big promotion for attracting tourism and attracting businesses to Hong Kong. And we'll be working with the tourism sector and also the business sector to make promotion in that regard. As to our COVID control measures, we'll be monitoring the situation closely. We will make our decision based on the data and the actual situation of Hong Kong, which means that we'll look at the number of cases that become serious or fatal, and also monitor the overall situation of the public hospital service. These are the critical factors that I will take into consideration in considering what measures we will take. I have to also remind people here that the World Health Organization has not changed its classification of COVID-19. So we will also be watching for the possibility of variants developing. But so far, the statistics and the data have indicated that these factors are well under control. That is why I think we can allow the resumption of boundary travel to progress in the way it is planned, and it is being done in a controlled and safe manner. As regard to when we will consider us lifting other measures, then the data will be the deciding principle.
Next question on the right, the gentleman at the front. I'm from Cable TV. First question. The CT value at 35 means negative test result on the mainland. But for Hong Kong, the value is at 40. People need a CT value of 40 to test negative. For recently recovered COVID patients, they may get a positive result after doing a PCR test. And some people are stranded in Hong Kong because they failed to secure a negative PCR test result. Given this divergence in CT value threshold, will the Hong Kong align the arrangement with the mainland? For us, those below the age of 3, they need to get a nasal or throat swab. Can we talk to the mainland for children under the age of 3 so that they can take stool samples instead? Another question has to do with medicine. Macau imposed restrictions on the amount of medicine people can buy. People cannot take medicine out of the city beyond a certain quantity. Will we have a similar measure in Hong Kong for medicine? What kinds of medicine are we going to regulate on the purchase? Will those cover the pain relief drugs or diarrhea relief drugs? Thank you. For the CT value, the Health Bureau is working with the laboratories on the standards applied. Different laboratories go by international standards in generating their lab reports. The Health Bureau is in talks with various labs on ways to align the arrangement on PCR test results. Considering the negative test results issued by Hong Kong, that's what they are focusing on. So for us, we are working with various laboratories to seek a consensus on the standards for negative PCR test results. This morning, the Health Bureau issued a statement on arrangements for young children below the age of 3. That is, arrangements regarding negative test results. For those aged below 3, if they are trying to enter Hong Kong, they don't need a PCR test result to come in. But the mainland does not have this exemption in place. We will get in touch with the mainland on this matter. We are working with the testing service providers. We have agreed that testing services will be available to children below the age of 3, that is, PCR tests. For medicine, we're watching the supply of medicine. For the government and public healthcare system, we have an ample stock of medical supplies. We have fever relief drugs. We have an ample inventory of fever relief drugs. We will also be watching the situation about the supply at pharmacies. Supply the drugs to pharmacies. We're looking into possible ways to have some kind of self-imposed rules on the sale of drugs. As for legislating to regulate the sale of drugs, it's a possibility. For pharmaceutical companies and the sellers of the drugs, an agreement would be an ideal way. For the market, for the situation so far, the focus is on the fever relief drugs. We want to deal with the issue related to fever relief drugs. And as for other measures, we will keep watching the situation to decide on the measures to take. We're almost out of time, so we will take the last question, the lady at the front. I'm from Phoenix TV. Normal travel has been resumed with the mainland. The government has made plans. The operation has been smooth. For the express rail link, when will they resume service? For self-paid PCR tests, Hong Kong diverges with the mainland in the fee level and the arrangement. So when can we expect rapid antigen tests to replace PCR tests for cross-boundary travel purposes? For the Express Rail link, there's keen demand for the service. We're working towards a goal of trying to resume the Express Rail link service on Sunday. We are in talks with the relevant authorities. We have made the preparations for resuming the Express Rail link services. We will be deploying manpower at the control point. We will also be deploying the staff, including the operators of those trains. There is training for the fees of PCR tests. I understand that fees differ in Hong Kong from those in the mainland. Each place adjusts these matters in accordance with their local situation. The testing fees now are already lower than what we had in the past. On this matter, we will continue to explore the service providers the way forward. As for the arrangement of PCR tests, this will take an agreement between the authorities of Hong Kong and the mainland if any changes to happen. As more cross-boundary travelers, PCR tests are an effective way to ensure that we can keep the risks manageable. We want the travelers to have negative PCR test results so that travelers going in either way won't be carrying the virus and won't be creating additional COVID risks. This is about keeping the risks manageable. We will be watching the situation to see if there's room or for any change to the PCR testing arrangements. But we will have to keep watching the situation. We will need to look at the data to see how we can keep the risks manageable. That concludes the press briefing today. Thank you.